Hey, Meghann, Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. And joining me now, it is Una McCarthy of the Limerick City Gallery of Art. You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm delighted to say that we're talking today about two exhibitions that are coming to the gallery. So we might kick off with the Parr's Ireland 40 Years of Photography. Can you tell us all about that one?
Well, I'd certainly tell you something about it. I'm not sure I can tell you all about it because it is 40 years of Martin Parr's work. Martin Parr is an internationally renowned photographer, one of the Magnum photographers. And he moved to Ireland with his wife in the late 70s, where she worked in Roscommon, Leitrim area as a social worker. And he started taking these photographs. And I remember, in fact, getting a copy of the book in the early 80s when it came out. It was called Fair Days. And there were a series of black and white photographs and extremely evocative even then. They were divided in, or the book was rather divided into four parts. Fair Days, Bungalow Bliss, because there was a blitz of bungalow building in the 70s and 80s, one-offs, of course. Ballrooms of Romance, the title coming from a William Trevor short story. And oh yes, Abandoned Morris Minors. And anybody of my generation will remember these abandoned Morris miners all over the country. They're no longer a feature of the countryside, which is probably no bad thing, but they are very evocative of a particular time and place. Lots of images of gatherings of people for religious ceremonies, basically, local ones, whether it is climbing Croagh or just Patten Sunday and things like that, that are almost historic now as I talk about them, but were very much a feature and part of country living in the late 70s, early 80s. And what Martin has done is brought together this series of work that he has done. So he maintained his relationship and interest in Ireland, and he has done a series of very detailed, high definition images, looking again at the changing face of Ireland from that period in the early 80s right up to 2018 with a and basically it takes everything in between, but it ends with this glorious image of two women who are celebrating their marriage after the same-sex marriage law came through. So it's almost anthropological, in what the arc that it covers, from the black and whiteness really of the 80s and all that we went through at that time, to these really celebratory and almost, garish, Manon-driven, world that we live in now, which is all about, having, wanting, it's flash Harry stuff. But we've been forced into a kind of a reassessing of that position, I think, now with lockdown. I think it probably didn't come at too bad a time for us, as we were getting ahead of ourselves, I would suggest.
I think there, though, you mentioned some very nostalgic memories, and I think that's what people are going to have as a bit of an amazing trip down memory lane. I know you mentioned the Morris Minors there, and growing up, I know it was my mother's favorite car. So I think so many people are going to be very reflective of this exhibition as well and get to experience some very special moments, and of course more recent times as well. Una McCarthy of the Limerick City Gallery of Art, thank you so much for chatting to us on the Limerick Post Show about the exhibitions. And I know you've definitely painted an incredible image for all of us. And I hope that everyone that is watching tunes in, clicks in, and goes to view these. And hopefully, in the not so distant future, we'll all be able to go back into that lovely location in Perry Square and see all that you have on offer.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.